Hello and welcome to Precon Decon, the video series where I deconstruct the pre-constructed decks of Magic the Gathering's history. In this video we're continuing our look at Legions and looking at the third theme deck, which is Sliver Shivers, which is a white, blue and green deck. Always exciting when we look at a three-colour deck. Well, I say that, some of the invasion ones weren't great. But it's always interesting when a theme deck has more than two colours, and we're going to dive into this one and look at the Slivers because they're back. They're back. The last time we saw them was all the way back in Tempest block, and they're back with a vengeance. So this is the deck list. We have 20 creatures, 2 sorceries, 6 instants, 5 enchantments, 27 damage, a lot of land. But yeah, let's just dive in. We've got a mana curve off to the side there as well. So yeah, let's start looking at all these slivers. So yeah, the theme of the deck is slivers. I think a lot of people got very excited when slivers came back because I say the last time we saw them was all the way back in Tempest block, and there weren't many of them. There were only 15, I think there were. There was 2 of each color. Then there was 1 of each ally color combination. Oh, and there was metallic sliver, so 16 in total. And they were okay, you know. But the last Sliver theme deck, which was all the way back in Tempest, which was just called the Slivers, was one of the first decks I looked at. And if you've seen that video, you probably know my thoughts on it. But if you haven't, I mean, you should go and watch it anyway. But just to summarize, it wasn't very well. I don't think it was great. It was basically like a blue-black control deck, which used slivers a bit. Which is it was a little disappointing. But now we have a deck where so there's been a few more years of design experience, I guess, and now slivers are a bit more interesting and have kind of like better, stronger effects. So yeah, let's start looking at them. So one of the rares of the deck is Brood Sliver. This guy's great. 5 mana for a 3/3. Whenever a sliver deals combat damage to a player, its controller puts a 1/1 colorless sliver creature token into play. So amazing, just starts creating more slivers. Absolute all-star of the deck. A sliver that makes more slivers. Like a tribe that exponentially improves itself. Just creates more of itself. Yeah, it's great. Brood Sliver's really strong rare to have. Really happy it's in here. We have 4 quick slivers. 2/2, 2 mana for a 1/1 with flash, and basically you can play sliver cards as if they had flash, which is really good. Yeah, not much to say about that. Full playset of that, which is a theme we're going to see in this deck, that it has a lot of playsets. Just because even though this is the set where slivers were reintroduced, there's still not a lot of them. I think basically each color had a common, an uncommon, and a rare sliver. So what we've got in here is basically all the green, white, and blue slivers. We have a single copy of Root Sliver, 4 mana for a 2/2, can't be countered, and sliver spells can't be countered. Kind of a niche effect. Obviously, that only really matters against like blue. But yeah, it's fine, I guess. I'm really happy this wasn't the rare because I always feel like at this time of the game when they're saying, "Oh, it can't be countered," that's really strong, and just like, "Oh, we should probably make that rare," so I don't know, so it doesn't like warp the meta. But like the fact that it can't be countered is, I don't know. I feel like it's such a niche ability, and it basically, I say, it only basically matters against one color. So the other rare of the deck is Essence Sliver, 4 mana for a 3/3. Whenever a sliver deals damage, its controller gains that much life. Brilliant. Just gives all your slivers lifelink, basically, which is fantastic. Well, it's better than lifelink because if you have multiple Essence Slivers, it stacks multiple times. Should also note with all these slivers that their effects are symmetrical, so if your opponent is playing slivers, they also get these benefits. It will be a while before slivers change, so like they only affect your stuff or your slivers even. That's M15 when the slivers change, which I think is for the better, but anyway. So we have a full playset of Plated Sliver. Just 1 white mana for a 1/1. All slivers get +0/+1. Yep, perfectly fine. Nice ability that you want multiples of because it stacks, which was kind of like my main criticism with the sliver deck back in back in Tempest Block is that all these slivers in that deck had abilities that didn't really apply if you had them multiple times. So it's nice that there's more effects like this where I say it's good to have multiple plated slivers out. Like with Ward Sliver, it's good to have multiple Ward Slivers out. Because Ward Sliver, when it comes to play, choose a color. All slivers have protection from the chosen color. I mean, that's just a potential game ender if that comes down. You got a whole army of slivers. You drop it down. Say like at this time in the game, opponent's playing like maybe just mono green elves or mono black zombies. You just blonk and be like, oh, green, and you can't do anything about it. Swing. Yeah, super good. I really like Ward Sliver's really good. I think obviously it's expensive at 5 mana for only a 2/2, but like that effect is really strong. Then we have 3 shifting slivers, 4 mana for a 2/2. Slivers can't be blocked except by other slivers. Also, very strong ability. Again, comes down, could potentially make your whole board completely unblockable. Swing, amazing. Yep, shifting slivers, pretty good. And then a non-sliver, the Mistform Dreamer. I think this is here just to kind of fill in space, really. But it makes no sense, which I'll talk about in a minute. So it's 3 mana for a 2/1 illusion. It has flying, and you can pay 1 to make its type become the type of your choice turn. So I guess the idea is you play it and be like, oh, I'm going to make him a sliver this turn, and he gets all the sliver benefits. Weird that he's in here because there was Mistform Sliver. Which is the common blue sliver, and it has this exact same ability. Like it's a sliver illusion, and it has the ability where it can change its creature type. I'm guessing this was in here just because like it has like an evasive ability like built in, like it's just already a 2/1 flyer. So because none of the other slivers have flying. I'm guessing that's the idea, but. Yeah, I mean that could have been resolved by just giving Mistform Sliver flying in the first place. But anyway, yeah. So I sort of understand why it's here, but like it annoys me that he's here instead of a sliver itself. And then that's it. That's all the creatures. So then we're straight into spells. We have 2 Chroma's Blessing. I've talked about this a lot in previous videos. It's just super good. We'll just say that. Kind of actually a little redundant in this because you have the Ward Slivers. So this is actually a case where you might want to cycle it. 2 Mage's Guile. This is pretty good for protecting your key slivers by giving them Shroud and turn to turn. Explosive Vegetation, that really helps in a 3-color deck to get out the lands that you need, provide the colors you need to cast the slivers, and then 2 Tribal Unities, just a big pump spell, gives creatures the type of your choice, +X turn to turn. And the fact it's instant is actually quite nice as well. So yeah, kind of a lot of ways to kind of just swing unopposed with a bunch of slivers and just kind of win the games kind of out of nowhere. We have a single Crown of Vigor, just gives enchant +1/+1, sacrifice it, enchant a creature and other creatures that share a type with it, get +1/+1 turn to turn. So there's a whole cycle of these crowns in Onslaught, and they all have exactly the same sort of templating. They give the enchanted creature a certain bonus, and you can sacrifice it to get a temporary until end of turn bonus for the creature and everything that shares a type with it. 4 pacifisms, like another playset of stuff. Pacifism's just super good. Really cheap effect to make a creature completely useless to an opponent, unless it has an ability, but whatever. Locks out big attackers and big blockers. 4 Secluded Steps for cycling. Another playset. So many playsets in this deck. 4 Secluded Steps for cycling away, and 2 Lonely Sandbars. I would have. This is going to sound super picky. I've just said like, oh wow, amazing, full playset. It's weird that it's 4 Secluded Steps, 2 Sandbars. I would have thought there would have been 2 of each color one, so like two of the white ones, 2 of the blue ones, 2 of the green ones. Given that it's 3-color deck, but yeah, it's fine. So that's it. So that was a very, very quick deck to look at because there's so many playsets of stuff. So this is what could have been. So I'm going out left field again because, like in my last video, which was the Morph Mayhem, I was like, oh, it could add red, and I'm going to say the same thing again. It could add red. So, in my opinion, here, like the blue is not maybe as it is. The blue is not contributing a lot. It feels to me. So I think a way that could have been rectified is either having like Synapse Sliver as one of the rares. So this is like whenever a Sliver deals combat damage to a player, you draw a card, which is super strong when you have a bunch of obviously like unblockable slivers, or even not even unblockable slivers, when you just have a bunch of slivers. So that's, you know, that's a potential. I don't know which one that could replace, because the two rare slivers in this are really, really good, like the Essence Sliver and the Brood Sliver. They're both really, really good. Another potential blue spell that could have gone here is the Crown of Ascension. So this is like the blue crown. It gives flying and then gives all your stuff flying. But again, like you've got so much evasion in here. Like you've got 3 shifting slivers. And then you got the Achroma's Blessing, you got the Ward Sliver, so a lot of kind of evasive abilities to kind of get through. So actually, you know, thinking about it, I don't think the blue in this deck is actually necessary. What I would have liked to see would be red instead of blue, make it Naya colours instead, so green, red, white. Because then you can get Crown of Fury in, which is the red crown that gives +1/+0 and first strike, and then sacrifice to give all your stuff basically +1/+0 and first strike, which is like which is a really good combat trick. You can get then you can get a full playset of Hunter Slivers, which gives all your slivers provoke, which then means like if your opponent's like going, oh no, like I want to keep my creatures safe from your slivers, like nope, all my slivers are gonna hunt down your guys. Like this sliver's gonna block that one, and that's gonna block this one, and that, you know, and stuff like that. So 4 Hunter Slivers would have been really fun. You could then had a full playset of Blade Slivers, give all so a Blade Sliver gives all your slivers +1/+0, so make them really big. That's again an effect you want multiples of, and it's a nice kind of parallel to the Playthrough Sliver. And then one of the potential rares, but like the Brood Sliver and the Essence Sliver are so good. I don't know which one I'd want to see gone. But Magma Sliver. So 4 mana for a 3/3, and all slivers have target sliver gets +X/+0 to end turn, where X is the number of slivers in play. So you could just like swing with, I don't know, like 1 sliver, and then just like massively pump it up, just so it can like smash through. That would be kind of fun, maybe. Probably not as good as the 2 rares in there. So in summary, I guess I would have cut the blue, and then add in like the full playset of Hunter Sliver, full playset of Blade Sliver, Crown of Fury, and maybe a few other red spells, like, you know, like just like Shock or something. But then I think it would have been almost too good. So in summary, I mean, like, I think this is really good. I'm very partial to slivers, maybe because that's like they're so easy to build, because it's just like, oh, I've got a bunch of sliver cards. Well, I've made a sliver deck. Yeah, I would have been really happy to own this one and like use it. As I say, like I think the rares in here are like spot on. I think they're so perfect for the deck. Yeah, really, really happy with this one. Like even as it stands, even with the blue in it, I think it would have been absolutely fine out of the box, and you know it wouldn't have taken too much difficulty to change it around to switch out that blue for red or black even, because obviously black had some slivers as well. I don't think overall I think green and white are definitely the best sliver colors in this set. But yeah, so obviously glad that's the kind of core of the deck. But yeah, obviously really like this one. I think this is probably my favorite one out of all the Legions theme decks, just because slivers are such a home run for me. But that's my thoughts on it. What are your thoughts after seeing the deck list? I mean, like, did you have this deck? Did you change it? Did you like swap out any of those colors for another color, or you know, did you try and just keep it like maybe green and white or something? Did you, or maybe make it 5 color, because that's always a possibility with slivers, isn't it? And then in the next set in Scourge we have the big legendary sliver, the Sliver Overlord, so that would have been a potential as well. So stick a comment below about your thoughts about Sliver Shivers. Yeah, and I'll be back next time. I'll be looking at the last theme deck from Legions, but until then, thank you for watching and listening, and have a good day.